Welcome back to the channel. Today we are extending our Blazor AI powered application by adding text-to-speech functionality using OpenAI's API. If you have been following along, we have already prompt-to-text and prompt-to-image working in our OpenAI Blazor app solution. Now let's bring AI-generated speech into the mix. So wait till the end of this video. Please watch till the end of this video, and you will be rewarded with the GitHub source code repository, and it will include all the 3 projects in a single solution. Now, before we move on to the next part where I will move forward with all the changes, let me have a word of caution. This string API key, I have intentionally left it blank after using it for demonstration purpose and recording the video, because I wanted to put it into a public repository, and public repository API key is very easy to leak and be misused by the people. So just to have a web security point of view, I have blanked it or made it empty. So you also please take care of your API keys in your actual project if you are going to follow my source code, and let's discuss it further in an upcoming video. Thank you very much. Now let's see the final finished application. What will we build today in the running state? Okay, before moving on further with the code modifications. So let me speak another voice. There's one beautiful, cool female voice, and write our text over here. This time let me something else. Hello. Sorry for the typo. Hello, what is your name? Okay. And play speech.
Hello, what is your name?
And again download this speech. Output 14.
Hello, what is your name?
Okay. Cool. So first we'll modify our existing OpenAI services class, and we'll include a new method for text-to-speech. This method will send the text input to OpenAI's TTS API and return an MP3 file. Let's dive into that. So this is my OpenAI services class, where I have written code for the generation of image and the prompt to text methods. Now I will include, after this last method to generate the image async, which was in my previous video, I will add another method which is known as convert text to speech. All right. So this method makes the call to the OpenAI's API. Now this is the call. This is the endpoint. https://api.openai.com version 1 audio speech. All right. And here the request body takes these parameters. Here the model is TTS-1. Be very careful to write the model name correctly. And here I have given 2 inputs to this convert text to speech, which you can think, because it requires a voice and a text, because we have got a choice of a few voice, which I will come back soon. Now, as you can see, it retrieves the MP3 URL and returns it. You'll want to make sure you handle the error scenarios as well. So what is happening here, this part, it is actually creating a request body, and to this JSON body, which it is using the JSON serializer.serialize method and passing this request body. You can see I'm using using statement. Why? Because using statement is a good practice in C# in .NET, where all the objects that you create during the session are automatically disposed for garbage collection. So here we are using the client. We are assigning a variable client, which is the HTTP client, which we have declared in the previous video. You can see through the dependency injection. All right. Now, as you can see that I am setting the authorization header, default request headers for authorization, and which is having a bearer token, and the API key, which I have already seen in the previous video as redacted. So you can include your own API key after logging to the dashboard. So please view my first two videos on this series, which will be there in the description of this YouTube video, as well as in the links in the video itself. So here I am creating the content, which is again new string content. I am calling this class, and I am passing the JSON body and encoding, and because this is a JSON markup, so it will be it will be actually included in the content variable. And then the response is by posting the client with the post verb to this endpoint, which is very important, and passing the content as well. And if the response is a 200 code, if it is a success code, then I'm getting the audio bytes by using this statement, because this is a async, so it has to be await. This is async method, asynchronous operation. So response.content.read as byte array async. And then I'm creating the base64 audio by passing the audio bytes, which I have got here, to this method, to base64 string, and then generating the audio URL based upon this variable that I have assigned, base64 audio. So this is the audio URL. This is the standard template or standard format for generating the for the audio URL, and then I am returning the audio URL. Else, if the try block fails, then it will throw a new exception, and then you can see that this is the convert. This is returning a task of type string. All right. Next, we'll create a new Razor component named text-to-speech.razor. So text-to-speech Razor component has been created, and I will paste the code which is on my clipboard to make it much simpler and quick, because I cannot keep on typing code while you follow. So everything will be there in the GitHub repository if you watch till the end. And here you can see that I have created a speech generator at page directive, because I will create a route in the navigation link, which will come next. And I am injecting here the OpenAI service, which is the full namespace is OpenAI Blazor app. That is the solution or the project name .services folder .OpenAI service. And I am injecting the JavaScript runtime, okay, which will follow. Now, in a nutshell, before I discuss the full code, this Razor component will be our UI, where users can input text, select a voice, and generate speech. We'll make sure to enhance the user experience with the following features. And we'll give a text area for the text input, where users will type what they want to be spoken, a drop-down menu to select from different voices, a play speech button that triggers the speech generation process, and a load spinner for user feedback while waiting for the speech to be generated. Lastly, we'll provide a download speech button so users can save the generated speech as an MP3 file. All right, it's now discussion over. Let's see what it does, how it does it. Okay, so I am creating a div class TTS container, text-to-speech container, and in which there are embedded divs. This is a TTS row, and there is a label for text and the text area. Okay, and then there is a voice selection row. Now let's play with the end product. But before that, I will come back to discussing the code and markup for this Razor file, which is very important to know. But let's run the application, how it looks like, and then it will be easier to understand this Razor code. All right, but before that, I need to create the navigation menu. So I will open it, and nav menu.razor, I will copy this part and come back here. All right, and below this image generator, I'll just paste just so that I don't lose it, and then copy any of the code snippets, and then instead of image generator, href image generator, I will make this as paste the clipboard content speech generator. Speech generator. Okay. Now this application is complete without the explanation. So let's play with the application, run this application. So see, this is my application. This is the first part, generate text using OpenAI, which I have seen in the first video, and the link will be again in the description as well as in the cards. And this is the image generator, enter a prompt and generate image, and this will be the last one. So this is the speech generator. Now we'll come back to cleaning up the UI, which looks a bit clumsy. Okay, and that will be later by actually creating some cool CSS classes. So enter your text here. Now you can see that there are quite a few voices: Alloy, Echo, Fable, Onyx, Nova, etc., etc. So just write any text. So I've written this piece of text: hello and welcome to my TTS app. How are you today? And select a voice Alloy. You can choose any other voice. By default, this is the voice chosen. So click on play speech, and it's loading. Spinning indicator is loading. So you know something is happening. It takes a wee bit of time initially.
Hello and welcome to my TTS app. How are you today?
You can hear the speech and you can download it too. All right, it is downloaded. Now,
hello and welcome to my TTS app. Hello and welcome to my TTS app. How are you today?
So it's great, isn't it? Now, as I promised, I have given a voice selection drop-down list, and if we play the speech, you can see one thing, that the play speech button is disabled while it is loading, spinning it. All right. Now I have already given the navigation to the speech generator. Okay, so let's move on to beautifying this AI with some cool CSS stuff in our existing style sheet. Now this is my app.css file under the www root CSS folder, and below the last of my elements in the built-in CSS file, I'll put a few classes: .tts container, display flex, flex direction column, gap 10 pixels, maximum width is 400 pixels, reduces overall width and centers the component, and then TTS row and the text area. So this is in line with my component, Razor component, where I have used div class TTS container, and within the TTS container I have used TTS row for the label and text area, and also used the TTS row class again for the voice selection row, and with the label select a voice, with the select ID voice selection, which you have already seen. Now let's discuss a little bit about this code part and also finish it. Now this is the play button row, which is also using the same div class, and on click you're calling the play speech, which is disabled during loading. Okay, the play speech is the method. This is the play speech method. So if string dot is null or white space text input, then return. Okay, so is loading becomes true. Okay, so is loading is initially, this is a boolean which enables and disables the spinning button. Okay, and the state has changed to force the refresh. Now in this try block everything is happening. Fetch the new speech URL. So audio URL is this is the audio URL. This is a public property which is a string, okay, which is initialized as empty string. And also I have created a list of string of available voices, which is a new string list of string having all these voices available by using OpenAI API key. These are the voices only available, and you have to be very careful. You have to write it all in lowercase letter. If you write it into uppercase letter, you will get a bad request or something like that. It will not end up in a suitable status OK response. All right, and audio selected voice is ally, initially default voice, and text input is empty string to start with. Now you can understand audio URL. We are fetching the new speech URL, and then we are awaiting on the JavaScript runtime by invoking void async, and this is necessary because I need to use the play method. This is a bit of JavaScript. Okay, and exception is write the error message, and then before coming out of this play speech method, is loading becomes false because the loading spinner should disappear, and then we are forcing a UI refresh. All right, and then again let's see everything is in action once more after changing the CSS style sheet. So now you can see that everything is lined properly with the text area. Now if you write a huge amount of text, this will have a scroll bar here, vertical scroll bar, and you can select any voice. Okay, let me show you another voice. Okay, so let me speak another voice. There's one beautiful cool female voice, and write our text over here. This time let me something else. Hello. Sorry for the typo. Hello, what is your name? Okay, and play speech.
Hello, what is your name?
And again download this speech. Output 14.
Hello, what is your name?
Okay, cool. You can keep on changing the voice feature, but you'll have to refresh because I have not been able to give that feature of writing and changing the text and selecting a different voice without refreshing the browser. That feature is beyond the scope of this video, but if you wish to see everything in action again, so write your text again. Now I've got this text from internet, and I'll select a voice shimmer, and let us play the speech.
A passage is a single, uninterrupted stretch of text in a piece of writing. It can be as short as a sentence or two, or it can be several paragraphs
Again,
long.
you can download the speech, and you can change the file name also.
A passage is a single, uninterrupted stretch of text in a piece of writing.
Right. So if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and introduce it to your friends and put your valuable comments. I'll come back to you as soon as possible. Thank you very much.